You're watching The Experience Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit ComicShopLocator.com to find a store near you.
Get the inside scoop on everything happening at The Experience every week. Join our mailing list by scanning the QR code at the bottom of the screen and then watching your email inbox.
Hey, here we are, new comic book day.
What's up?
Everybody, we already got Preston in the house, Josh in the house, Alec here with us today. What's going on, Alec? How you doing, buddy?
Nothing, man. Not too much. How about yourself?
Same old, same old. John is updating his status right now because he
on the show.
Social media like a teenage girl. He's so active on that thing.
Absolutely. The reason I stay so active on social media is that when someone says, for example, how do you know that about Panther? When we're talking about Dynamite characters, I can say, because I just texted Tom Snigowski and asked him. That's why. Most people don't have that kind of reach.
You are an incredible name dropper, my
friend. I am an incredible name dropper.
John Spilio's in the house. What's going on, buddy? I feel like something went out for you today, my friend, but I don't know what it was. I can't remember.
We sent you books, whatever.
I saw a packing slip go. I saw a package up for you in a warehouse, but I have no idea what to do. It's comic stuff. I can guarantee you that. But thank you for everybody joining us. I did want to make a quick mention. Obviously,
hey Ronald, we said hi to everybody out.
Ron, what's going on? Preston,
what's up, buddy?
Preston, I have not made it to the satellite warehouse yet, my friend. So hopefully I will have something on for you guys next week. Cool Gamer, thanks for joining us, my friend. Appreciate it.
If I took a statue from Nick's office, you think you'd notice? It's not going to be boxed or anything.
Why do you implicate me in such things? Okay, if you're going to do stuff like that, I don't want to know. Okay, I could potentially get subpoenaed for stuff like that.
I'm not the one that HR is going to
show up at depositions. I mean, come on, dude. I'd hate to have Amy have to tackle you to the ground and wrestle the statue from you. The statue might get broke. So Josh wants to know, how do you know what about Panther?
No, I mean, anybody who's ever spent any time in the wretched hive of scum and villainy known as Facebook comic book groups, the conversations can get real contentious and people start.
Dude, there is not a group that's related to anything on Facebook that can't get contentious.
Yeah, I agree. That's very true.
That goes without saying.
Yeah, people will say to you, how do you know this or how do you know that or whatever? And I was like, because I actually talked to the person. Like I was mentioning Lady Hell.
Right.
Oh, that sounds made up. That book's not coming out. I'm like, the book is totally coming out. How do you know? Well, first of all, because Nick told me. And second of all, because someone's already had a photo session for the cosplay covers.
We talk about just everything, anything that comes to mind. I mean, it's demonstrated by topics like spam,
spam,
and other things. But every now and again, in all seriousness, after the tragedy that happened in Texas yesterday, I did want to just make mention of that. Obviously, I think it's something. I really not an issue of where your politics are. I think it's a tragic thing, and it keeps happening. the world just seems to be a meaner place these days than it used to be. Maybe it's just an impression that we have.
And I almost thought about if we were going to do the show. I was almost going to say, hey, look, man, should we do the show or whatever? And I think ultimately, no disrespect, but I think people can maybe use a little bit of a break from being glued to the news. I don't even care what news you watch. That's all they're talking about. Just people screaming at each other. So hopefully we're going to give people a couple hours of...
We're not doing mind-bending stuff here, as our regular viewers know. John and I are not the sharpest pencils in the box, as our viewers also know. But hopefully, Alec obviously is much more knowledgeable about any topic to come up with the exception of Spam and Star Trek. Okay, those two things. Alec is not.
I mean, you can't know everything.
I was going to say no Star Trek knowledge on my end. I'm learning about Spam, though. Yeah, see? My Spam knowledge is getting up there.
I have to say that the test that we gave you on Star Trek, on the Scantron sheet, you have to circle, you have to fill in the entire oval.
It was just a middle finger.
So you were a little bit out of the line, so we're going to have to retake that test on that.
That's so one of the videos I did, IDW had a new Star Trek book coming out, and I know it was after the video we did where we were talking about the Star Trek stuff. Sometimes I like to say things wrong just to get people to like, oh my god, are you kidding me? So instead of Klingon, I said a Klingon, and oh my god, there was probably about 3 or 4 people.
Time, man. She triggers people, and it's great.
Well, hopefully, if nothing else, we're entertaining to some degree anyway. So that's why none of our family members actually watch the show, because they don't find it very entertaining. But we did, we got JD behind booth today, so he's here with us. But Kyle is actually drive-through Kyle tonight, and Kyle actually had something he wanted us to talk about. But as I said, John and I are not the sharpest pencils in the box, so it got so convoluted that Kyle was forced, while he's in transit, to come on and explain it correctly.
He wants to sell his barbecue cookbook, and he wants to sell the Experience beard oil.
I just want the barbecue. I don't want the cookbook. I just want the actual barbecue. Okay. This is why I go to barbecue joints, man. Okay. I don't want. It sounds like a lot of hard work and messy.
I cannot comment on a barbecue cookbook's existence or non-existence.
Soon.
Mainly because if I comment on it, it will not exist. So we'll say that. But I'm totally pulled over in the local community college parking lot, and security is looking at me. So if I get tased, you know why.
You know what? If we go viral, you might have to do it again. I'm just saying, Kyle.
If we go viral and 1 million people are here tomorrow, I will come and I will tease them and let them shoot me. Like, I'm good with it. Like, let them tase me.
So it'll kind of change. It'll kind of change the whole format of the show going forward. But I'm okay with that. And Kyle,
I have just turned the show into Jackass.
Whatever works, right? But let me say this, Kyle. Will send you detailed instructions on how to send the barbecue tuna. The packaging, the dried ice. You'll see that email hit your inbox tomorrow.
There's an episode of MASH where they figured that out.
Ron said, take it from me, you don't want to be tased.
Yes, Ron is the experienced person when it comes to tasing. But good news is that I know what Kyle wants to talk about relates to him being at cons. So the good news about that is obviously Kyle getting out the cons, but the cons are still starting to turn around and starting to happen. Yeah. So that's good news for everybody here. But Kyle, take it.
Well, I mean, the good news about me going to cons, the weird news about me going to cons is that I had to stop on my way to the con and buy face masks. But
this wasn't wax.
Yeah. So I am this weekend at Traverse City, in Traverse City, Michigan, at Cherry Capital Comic Con. Cherry Capital Comic Con is the home of the Gary Reed Independent Creator of the Year Award. A lot of really cool stuff happens at Cherry Capital. It's a show I do every year. But the experience is there because I am there. And so what we're doing is we're doing a little thing. The experience has an email that goes out every week. Henri and I work real hard on it. Henri writes it because my English isn't good. I say things in weird ways. So Henri writes it, and then I make sure he spells it correctly, basically. And So in this week's email, which is scheduled to go out tomorrow, there are very specific instructions on what you should do if you happen to be in the Traverse City area and are coming to Cherry Capital Comic Con, or next weekend, 1 week from now, if you're in the Washington, D.C. area and are coming to AwesomeCon. Because the experience will be at AwesomeCon as well. I'm giving stuff away, but you have to be on the mailing list to find out how to get it. Now,
And for those the mailing list is in the chat. The link is in the chat.
There you go. Now, this is exclusively for on air, and this is where Ron may wind up having taser issues of his own. If you are not already on the mailing list and you come to the convention and sign up, or you sign up through that link starting at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, Eastern Standard Time, through the end of AwesomeCon, you will be entered for a chance to win a CCA that I'm having done live at the convention this weekend by Disney artist, Marvel artist, independent creator. There's an announcement coming from a publisher that starts with an I and ends in Mage, Jay Fosgett. I don't know what cover he's going to do, if it's going to be Wolverine. I have one of those. I have a couple other blanks. I'm going to let him pick.
Very nice.
But if you're not already signed up, you sign up in the next, basically you have 2 weeks, right? You get entered to win a CCA completely free if you sign up for the mailing list.
Nice. And the links are in the, on all the different sort of YouTube, Facebook. He's throwing up all the links to everybody.
So JD will throw up the link for the emailer again during the course of the show. So all you got to do is sign up for the emailer, everyone, to enter to win and
free stuff. Everybody loves free stuff, man.
Well, to see the instructions on how to win. And Ron says he'll be at DC AwesomeCon. So.
Oh, awesome! I am with Artway Alliance and Red Stylo Media. There, we're all kind of splitting tables and big happy family kind of thing. So that'll be super fun. You have to come find me, Ron.
Awesome.
I'll be the guy who looks vaguely like this.
That's like a CGI. That doesn't look like Kyle at all.
Filter.
It's a filter.
But all right, so JD will throw up the link again through the show. So sign up for the emailer. You got two weeks. I think you said, Kyle.
Basically, it's tomorrow morning 8 a.m. through. We're gonna cut it off at midnight the Wednesday after AwesomeCon.
So if you are in the area or going to Cherry Capital Con, go check out the con and visit Kyle. If you will be in DC at AwesomeCon, like Ron, definitely look for Kyle. He'll be out there, and sign up for the emailer.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Washington, D.C. is one of the few towns that I've never been to for a con.
Really?
I've never been to a con in Washington, D.C. You know what? It's one of those things where you always have to sort of make a decision, right? Yeah. And the times when there are cons in cities that I haven't been to yet, the alternative is always, would you rather do that or go to San Diego?
Well, their traffic's just brutal all the time.
What I mean?
It has nothing to do with who's there or cons or whatever. It's just brutal.
Well, I mean,
I'll be honest. I got the call about AwesomeCon, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to deal with DC. They're like, the hotel and plane is booked.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. Fine.
Well, I guess I can take an Uber. So it's great that it works out. I'm super excited to be in DC. I'm super excited to see Ron. John, you should come down. It's only like a few hours, right?
Yeah, it is. It's like a 3-hour drive. I may, in fact, do that because, like I said, first of all, it'd be great to see these guys. Second of all, I've never been to a con in Washington, D.C.
Actually, it's 3 hours to Columbia, Maryland, and then the Beltline. And then that's variable.
Whenever I go down to D.C., I stop it. I forget where it is. It's in my GPS. I take the train in. I'm not driving all the way down there. I'm trying to think of where it is.
Oh, BWI?
It's the Metro way where you stop and park, and I'm fine to pay $50 a day to park my car so I don't have to drive into Washington, D.C.
Well, you could just take BW. You could go to BWI.
A good friend of mine was a hospitality manager at the Oriental Hotel. So I would go down there and we would hang out for a couple of days or whatever. And he would be like, oh, I'll get you a parking thing or whatever. I'm like, you think I'm driving into the capital of the nation? No.
Dude, all you do is you long-term park at BWI and there's an Amtrak train. It'll take you right to Union Station.
I would do that too. Yeah. I would do anything other than drive specifically into. I've been in cars before going through the Capitol. People, I was like, oh no.
So I want to point out, this was earlier on. So Preston must have watched your show there, Alec, because if you look, he put in the comments, cling on.
Cling on, yeah, you watched the show.
The only reason I mentioned it, Preston, is right before the show started, we were talking to Alec, and he mentioned that he likes to do it. So apparently, Alec does know enough about Star Trek that he knew that was a mispronunciation.
There's great advice from Ron for Kyle, and really almost anyone. I've watched people for years. I've been to cons in a lot of different cities, and I hate to say it, but people still think they can just drive up to the convention center and park. And it has been a long time, at least to my experience, where you can just walk up and park at a convention center. I cannot remember that in 15 or 20 years. You're always parked somewhere else. Now, it's different if you're a retailer. Maybe if you're a retailer, they have a lot for you or whatever. But when you're just attending a con,
Atlantic City.
I was gonna say we did
I'm
that
taking
at
a shuttle in from
Fan
BWI.
Expo.
There you go. So
yes, that's a good idea. That is a very good idea. Avoid the traffic. But
that was what they told me the deal was. You get off the plane, you get on the train. Okay.
If I
have to get in the car and John Candy is there, I'm leaving.
Nice. So Preston,
that's a movie that Alec didn't get either.
No, I did Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, right?
Yeah, right.
Yes, okay. Just wanted to make sure Alec got the reference.
I got one.
I got it.
Finally.
All right, fellas. I gotta go. I still gotta load up all the video equipment for this weekend and deliver this comic book and pack a suitcase and at some point sleep. So
all right,
we'll
man.
see you guys later. Have a good show.
Thanks for jumping in, Kyle.
Good luck.
All right, so Preston definitely saw your Instagram post as well.
Yeah, I opened it up and like I'm looking at Instagram and there's a thing with Alec and he's like, I'm done with comics. And my first thought was, it's too late to get somebody else here for Wednesday. It's just gonna be us, and that's gonna suck.
So yeah, he definitely saw your post as well. All right,
I've been having so much more fun just making just like short little things. Like long form content, it takes so much time, and I don't know, I feel like when you make something short like that, you can make something fun, or maybe just you can go so many different directions for it. But an actual long video, it's like you have to sit down, you have to lay out what you're actually going to do and all these other things, then editing it. It's just, man, it's a very time consuming.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the best offer book.
Josh brought up a really good point.
What's that?
Please drive through the next window. I'm wondering if Kyle is like at a Chick-fil-A and everyone's beeping like, move up. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to CherryCon this week.
All right, let's get to the best offer books so we give everybody enough time. So first up, we have Legion of Superheroes #1, signed by Ryan Sook. It is a best offer book starting at $15. It is number 5 of only 70 signed. So that is our first best offer book of the night. Here we go.
I've said this before. Sook's art kind of carries this book. I've been reading Legion of Superheroes for 45 years. Some writers get it, some writers don't. I don't think this is Brian Michael Bendis's best work. And the art is really carrying the book. Like, sometimes you just like a creator or don't like a creator, but the art is always, it's a visual medium, right? The art for this, the covers are just, even the interior art, really, really, like, I can put up with the sort of story wonkiness.
Gotcha.
When art is this good.
So just to remind viewers, 2 types of claims on the show. Buy it nows. We'll throw it up. We'll throw up a price. Person claims it first, walks away with it, and then Best offer of the night items like this one, we will throw out a starting price, and the person with the highest claim at $7.55 right before the end of the show will be the winner of that item. So the next best offer book, East of West, #2, signed by writer Jonathan Hickman. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is a best offer book tonight, starting at $20. I know Hickman's signatures are hard to get.
I was going to say that's another signature where it's not the easiest thing in the world to get. And we've talked about this a bunch of times before.
Right.
I've literally been to cons where I waited the entire day. The entire day was to get like an Alex Ross signature. That was my day.
I can only imagine the length of that line. Oh my God.
They actually had us in a room, and then there was a service way. This was in Chicago, and then the service way took you to the line.
Oh my God.
And when Alex would take a break or whatever, you just stood there because nobody would leave the line.
Right.
So you would just stand there, or you would pay someone to stand in your spot. You know, which is what I did. I paid someone to stand in their spot because they're like, Alex is taking an hour break. And I'm like, okay. So I found somebody who wanted to make money. They stood in the line.
And you came back after an hour.
And I came back after an hour and waited. And that was my whole day, though. By the time I saw Alex, this, that, whatever, got my signature, I think the con floor was closing in like 15 minutes. The dealer floor was closing in like 15 minutes.
All right.
So, you know, when you get a chance to get a tough signature from us, you know, you're kind of maximizing. It's one less thing you don't have to do. You know, like half a day I wait to see Jim Stranko.
Right.
You know what I mean? And while I didn't mind doing it, I didn't mind spending the money, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's literally half the day.
Yeah.
Now, when you,
go ahead.
I was going to say, now, when you met Alex Ross, was he actually like a really cool dude? Was he interested in talking, or was it one of those like, all right, sign it, here we go, next person?
I always like to say this in the fairest way possible. There are people I've waited in line to see, like Gail Simone, who greeted me warmly with a hug and remembered me from Twitter. True story. Then there are.
She regrets that now.
There are creators who do not even look up.
Oh yeah.
They just say thanks and sign stuff and slide it on. And I'm not going to name names because it's pretty unpleasant.
Oh, come on, name names.
There's a lot of ego.
Come on, you love name dropping. Drop some names.
Not when it's negative. Alex Ross is somewhere in the middle. He knows that at a con there are 3,000 people in a line waiting to see him. And he knows of that 3,000 people, 2,800 of us won't leave the line. He knows there are people like me that are like, I'll spend the money. I'll fly out to Chicago. I'll do this and that. I will stand in this spot and wait.
I'll pay some dude when you take a break.
I'll pay some dude to stand in a line. So he kind of tries to modulate being pleasant and, you know, a humble, grateful with, you know, sort of keeping it moving. Right. Because, you know, he's not going to, at his career, he's not going to sit there till 3 o'clock in the morning.
All right. So let's get to our next best offer book. Batman #44. John's favorite, the Joel Jones variant cover, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. It has suggested retail of $89.99. It is a best offer book starting at $39 for $19.39.
Joel Jones' Catwoman works better if you think of her as her character from Lady Killer. That's when I'm the most impressed by Selena Kyle. She looks like a husband and kid at home, and she's just doing this on the sly. If you've ever read Lady Killer, it's very Jennifer Blood. It's very, I got a husband, I got kids, I got a life, but I also kill people.
Like who's that character from Quentin Tarantino's movie? One of the assassins. They get into a fight in their house.
Oh, is it the Black Mamba or is it
maybe?
I'm trying to think which character it was.
Yeah, I can't remember what the character's name was. But all right, so those are our 3 best offer books of the night.
We only have 3?
Looks like it.
I was going to say, sure. Because I remember on Monday you were like, I missed one.
I know. I know, man. I'm getting too old. All right, so just go over those again. Legion of Superheroes #1, signed by Ryan Sook. Best offer book starting at $15. East of West #2, signed by writer Jonathan Hickman. Best offer book starting at $20. And then Batman number 44, Joel Jones variant cover, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. Best offer book starting for $39. And believe me, if you send something to CGC these days, you're going to be paying a lot more.
It's a bit of a wait. East of West, I'm waiting to pop up on Amazon or Netflix. I don't know exactly if a deal has been signed yet, but East of West has that vibe like this could jump to television without
Easily.
a significant, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like without a significant sort of, there are books that I love, but if they jump to live action, they're going to have to make significant changes. Everybody knows it, right? There are certain books that just don't, like they had to do Invincible animated. I can't imagine what Invincible would have cost live action. That's just, you know what I mean? I just don't think that's, doable.
So, all right. Wait, Mikhail, hey, what's going on, buddy? Yes, that is. This is a Mad magazine with a sketch of Spy versus Spy by Ken Hazer.
Nice.
And you know what? Since there's interest in it, after we come back from break, we will do that book first.
When we come back from break, we'll do it.
All right.
Thanks for tuning into The Experience. Help us out and hit subscribe over on YouTube and click the bell when you do. Need some help? Scan the QR code in the bottom corner.
Comic Collectables is here for you every Wednesday with AR Comics for two very important reasons. To sell you rare, one-of-a-kind comics that you'll love, and to confuse AR with old man talk. You see, Rex and John are, how should I put this, ancient as the roots of the mountains. So every week, Rex and John fill in AR in yet another area of pop culture that he missed because he's too young, just didn't have the time, or just really doesn't care about. It's a real public service they provide. Come buy some super rare and unique comics, while old men explain long-dead sci-fi shows to a younger man making that confused puppy face. Every Wednesday from 6 to 8 Eastern with Rex, John, and AR Comics. Comic Collectables on The Experience. Comic culture and sales.
Are you a comic creator? Are you a publisher? Do you make a comic book product? Do you own a retail store? Do you do something I haven't thought of? Who are you and what do you do? Let us know by advertising on The Experience and invite our viewers to patronize your product. Message the EXP on social media or email us _EXP@yahoo.com for more details.
And we're back. Mikhail asked about the Mad comics, so we'll go to that one next. Mad magazine number 543, signed with cover sketch art of Spy versus Spy by Ken Hazer, also signed by Ken Hazer. You can see there in the left-hand side. We talk about this all the time. It is sketch retail of $89.99. It is one of our 5-star at $50 books. And we talk about Ken and the range that he has. I mean, we talk about it all the time. And this is just another example. We've seen him do
Disney,
Uncle Spoon,
Archie, Mad Magazine, Marvel, DC, Dynamite.
In any style, in any way. That's right. 76. My God, Ron. Where do you keep all this stuff? He has so much stuff. He has like 700 some remarks. cover sketch art,
I
and
would
then
guess.
76 or something like them from Hazer alone.
Without prying into Ron's life, I would guess he has like a storage locker.
Well, I would think it'd be okay to pry. I mean, he tells us when his wife tases him and stuff. So, I mean, how can you get more personal than that? You admit to us that your wife will tase you if you buy too much. That's pretty personal.
And you're right, Josh, Stevie B. That's probably the greatest commercial in the history.
Yeah, that one's good. That one's funny.
Preston, you got it, buddy.
That is an amazing.
Wait, is it which one is it? I missed it.
You missed it?
I did. What was it?
You'll have to wait and see.
Oh man,
because you're elderly. It took you so long to shuffle back in.
Who's talking? Look who's talking.
Yeah, but I'm young at heart.
You tell yourself, just because you're on social media like a teenager does not make you sorry about that. Okay.
What makes me young at heart?
It doesn't work that way. None of it works that way.
What makes me young at heart is I don't go to work.
That's true.
I don't see anyone under like 25 at a job.
That's very true. Stevie B says 97 rotten spam score. Thank you.
Thank you.
That puts us 80 percentage points higher than Morbius.
Oh, that hurts.
There's a great
line. That hurts.
I went there.
There's a great line in that commercial where it says, join the show where it's two old men explaining obscure science fiction shows to a much younger man, Alex, who's making this confused puppy face. Like,
JD's late again at the next break. I promise.
It's a great commercial, man.
Well, thank you guys. Let's see. Spy vs. Spy. I'm glad you picked it up, Preston. They are very rare. I remember reading Mad Magazine, growing up and stuff. And my mom did not like me buying it because sometimes the cover was a little. She'd look at it like, I'm not buying that.
I talk about this all the time. When I was a little kid, my dad would buy me comics at the train station, but the first things I bought myself were magazines.
Right.
They were mad. They were eerie. They were creepy. They were obviously Vampirella. Those were like for some reason, I really preferred the magazine format.
Right.
Which is probably why I have a soft spot for like DC's Black Label format or whatever, because it's really close. You know what I mean? They're getting like super close to the. They had one of the Vampirella Kickstarter things that Dynamite did, and one of the tiers was a repro of a Warren magazine, and I was like, it seemed wasteful because I actually have the Warren magazine, but I said, okay, I'll take this anyway.
Look, Ron says people who have them are selling the blanks for about $75. So wow. You got in on a great deal there, Preston. Congratulations, man.
You want to talk about New Comic Book Day?
Yeah, let's talk about New
Comic Book Day. So we did all the best offers, just to be clear, right?
Yes, we did.
Did the best offers because I don't want anybody to.
You begin the conversation. Let me double check, just to make sure after last Monday.
Today was New Comic Book Day. Real quick, we talked a little bit before. Dynamite had some very cool stuff. We'll have cool stuff every week, but this week in particular, they had Elvira in Horrorland. I'm going to tell you, the other books that Dynamite published this week are great. Elvira in Horrorland is something that I'll tell you right now. Go out and get the book. You don't have to have read the previous stuff. Just read the inside cover. Dave Avalone sums it up in about a paragraph and a half, and you're off to the races. Anyone who likes horror movies, especially from, we'll say, the 70s to like the 2000s, this is a lot of fun. This is just, it's not a pretentious book. They're not trying to, change the comic book landscape. They're just trying to entertain people, and I appreciate that.
So Mikhail wants to see what's behind Green Lantern. Can you just lean over, John? See if you can. I think it's a Dynamite Virgin cover.
Yeah, that's the Elvira photo cover. We'll get to that a little bit later.
All right. You know what? Let's do it now.
You want to do it now? Sure, do it now.
So it's Elvira in Horrorland, #1, photo Virgin cover. Suggested retail $50, and we have one available tonight for $40.
We were talking about this on Monday with Robbie. Dynamite's multiple covers have people now, and I've talked to people in the fan group, the Facebook fan group, they're double and triple dipping because people want their favorite artists cover, whether it's Joseph Michael Linsner or John Royal, whoever. The cosplay covers are, every cosplayer I talk to that we use is like, oh my God, I can't believe how busy I am. It's just one photo shoot after another for the different characters. And then we started doing stuff like metal covers and ultraviolet covers, and people don't want to miss out on that stuff. So there are people buying sometimes 3 different versions of this book. I joked around today with cover artist Dave Acosta, and I said to him, Look.
All right, Mikhail, you
Good
got
job,
it, buddy.
Mikhail. I said to him, look, man, I love you. I love your art, but I'm never buying your cover over Cassandra. I'm just not doing it. So,
All right. So, Mikhail, just so you know, we have a submission form, which JD will throw the link up for. Just fill that out because that's how we have, well, in this case, I'm assuming that's your real name, but sometimes people have screen names and we need to know the real names. Also, it's where we get your ship to address so we can ship it to you.
yeah.
Very important to fill that out if you wouldn't mind. And great grab there. And I remember, I've never met Cassandra, but you have.
I've met her a few times
Yeah.
actually in Las Vegas. I've met her in San Diego.
And she definitely is one of the ones that will make sure that every fan that's been waiting in line gets their opportunity. And from what you've told me, I've heard it from other people as well. She's, she's a very warm kind of person who really appreciates her fan base. That's the big thing.
She showed up at a horror convention in Buffalo, New York in like 2010. She's in the whole outfit, right? She's in the whole, and she jokes about it more than anyone else. About half that outfit is missing when she wears it. The day of that con, the high was 22 degrees.
Oh my God.
And everyone, even fat guys like me, we are bundled up. And she is out there in sort of this little area. And it wasn't technically outside, but it was an open space. And I'll tell you right now,
convention room floors too. It's very hard to get it warm.
it's hard to get it warm.
It's just so
And she
big.
stayed there for 2 hours after she was done getting pictures and signatures for people in that dress. She didn't put on a coat. She didn't say, hey, look, I love you guys, but I'm going to throw on a hoodie and jeans because I'm freezing.
Right.
She sort of stayed out there in that outfit. And I thought to myself, man, when someone goes that above and beyond,
I appreciate
anything that she does, I'll buy into, man. Trading cards, she does a candy bar, yeah, sure, I'll buy it. I'm fine with it.
So Kenneth Bird joined us. Hey, thanks for watching tonight. Marcus in the house. What's going on, Marcus? All right. So,
you know what? Why don't we do this, right?
go ahead.
We're talking about New Comic Book Day. I'll mention each of the Dynamite books, and then you mention. This way, we're sort of get it all, and then Alec can tell us what he was in.
You mean actually have a plan?
It just kind of came on me. Came to me. The next book that we had this week was
See how quickly the plan goes to hell?
For a second, I couldn't think it was Sheena. I'm really enjoying Sheena. Sheena is sort of drawing from the different eras and different jungle heroes. And, sort of really, Monday we had like a little bit of a conversation. The first story arc was done by Stephen Mooney. This story arc is being done by Stephen D'Souza. That's why we had that thing, and Robbie was like, "Oh, I caught the Dynamite expert." I love you, Robbie, but no, you didn't. I know you didn't do it.
All right, so tonight we have Sheena, Queen of the Jungle #6, Lucio Carrillo, Ultraviolet Virgin cover. And these ultraviolet covers are pretty cool.
They are.
So suggested retail of $50, and we have one available for $40 tonight. So there you go.
I think this is a sort of, if you've read the Phantom, if you read Black Panther when Jack Kirby did stuff like Marvel Triple Action, and I think Jungle Action was one of the names of the books, they're finding, and of course Tarzan, they're finding ways to kind of incorporate all these things into that character. And not that Sheena wasn't good before, but I think this adds a little depth. You know what I mean? She's not just another jungle character in a leopard bikini. Right. And I think that's sort of, and I think the last thing we had this week is what, Red Sonja?
We do. I'll tell you what, Mikhail, Mikhail says he's getting an error on that page. If that doesn't go, here we go. Try that one. If that doesn't work, Mikhail, you can always email me at rex.wang@dynamite.com. With your claim, if for some reason that's not working.
You can just shoot him a link.
I'll shoot you, or I'll take your information, just include all your information, your ship to, and all that stuff, and then I'll have your email, obviously, since you emailed me. You know, if this continues not to work tonight, you never know. It might be a glitch or something. Who knows? So did you say Red Sonja?
Yeah, we talked about Red Sonja. This version of Red Sonja is very cool. This is something we haven't seen before. I know technically after Sonjaversal, people will say we've seen everything.
Right.
And to a certain extent, we have. I love Sonjaversal. And we did see everything. One thing we did not see is Sonja the caretaker. Sonja in this series is sort of somewhat reluctantly tasked with the care of a child who you kind of know grows up eventually to be Red City, and that's already been discussed. I'm not no spoilers or anything. But it's a very, very, to see Red Sonja in that light is very different.
Right.
Gail Simone was talking about it on Twitter, that all the stuff her and Walt Giovanni did with Red Sonja, Nancy Collins as well mentioned it. They never thought to do Sonja the mom, like Mom Sonja. Right. Nobody thought about that before.
That's weird, John. I'm pretty sure that it was in one of the shipments. I'm almost positive. But John, I will check into it tomorrow first thing. Hold on, let me write it down. Because as John pointed out, I'm an old guy and I don't remember too much.
You can talk to John's attorney. Doing Peter now.
Julios.
Yeah, Sonja as a mom is a little bit of like a weird sort of, you know what I mean? And the way the writer does it is that she's having trouble. Like the character, it's like a story within the story. The character's having trouble finding that gear. You know, she's used to worrying about, you know, her next beer, her sword, her horse. You know what I mean? She's got like a real short list of stuff. Yeah, Josh, that's exactly right. There's this sort of Scythia loves calling her mom. And Sonja's always responding with, I'm not your mom, man. Quit calling me that.
Right.
I remember my mom used to say that to me when I called her mom. So, you know what I mean? You know, reluctant moms hate hearing that.
All right. And just to answer John's photos, yeah, I'm going to look into it, John. I thought it went out with one of your packages, but if not, maybe it's in transit. But if not, don't worry about it.
I sure hope
you
it's
know,
not
we'll
in my
get you another
car.
one. Huh?
I sure hope it's not in my car.
Oh, my gosh, man. We got to. All right. Mikhail, I'll tell you what, buddy. Just email me at my email address with all of your info. So very important, your ship to address. Obviously, I assume Mikhail is your regular your real name. And I'm trying to think. And I'll have your email because you will have emailed me. And just put all that in there. And what you claimed, although I take hand notes here, so I know that you would claim the Elvira and Horrorland. But go ahead and yeah, just email me. If that's a problem, come back here on the chat. Because then I'm going to have to suspect it may be something on your end.
Yeah, I'm wondering, is it one of these deals where someone's like emailing from work and there's some kind of
no, he's trying to click on a link, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you like, what is it, web sense or whatever? I have a buddy.
Yeah, if you work in a top secret government facility, Mikhail, you're going to have to talk to somebody in your IT
I have a buddy
department.
who works at a bank and he tried to click on the show one day and they were like, no.
Which bank? I will never do business at that bank again.
Never again.
Never again. That's the end of them. I'm done with them.
I will take out every one of my $18. You will not.
And I would like them in pennies.
In pennies. So those are the books we had for Dynamite this week, right?
Wait, no, you missed one. Or wait, no.
We might have something else, but
we have something else, yes. But we'll get to that one later.
We'll get to that one later. But those are the books that came out this week. Of the three that came out, I just, my congested heart is warmed by Elvira. I can't help. I mean, literally she's been like the poster girl in my life since I was, I'm getting older, fatter. She still seems like she looks like a zillion bucks. I don't understand how that works, but.
Well, because she doesn't get up at 3 a.m. to see the new MCU series.
Wait, speaking of that, did you guys see the new Thor trailer?
I did. Yeah, I did. I'm very excited about that. Very excited about Obi-Wan coming in. How many days?
I'm hesitant to say this.
2 days, Obi-Wan.
I'm hesitant to say this because I don't want Gracie, the cosplayer, last to block me on social media because she's one of my favorite mutuals. I am not a big fan of the God Butcher story.
All right, I'm done.
I am not.
We have. I think.
He's shut off.
Now it's gone.
You're gone.
We have, and I'll bring it back on Monday, or not Monday, next week. I'm going to bring it back. We had the Hazer cover sketch art.
We did.
Yeah, I think it was on Thor's.
I do agree with Thor fans that I do not know if Christian Bale is sort of, and I don't blame Bale as an actor, but they should have maybe looked more at the way the character looks in the comic, as opposed to they have him running around looking like powder.
It looks like Uncle Fester.
Yeah, I just and I'm saying this
as a skinny Uncle Fester.
I'm saying this as someone who is not a fan of this story. That character is not being done justice right there. There's not.
It can't be. It can't be it. It just can't be.
I'm just saying it's
famous last words.
It's the same thing I've said with the She-Hulk preview, right? The She-Hulk trailer is concerning in the circa 2000 CGI. My guess is by the time we're watching this, the CGI will be vastly improved.
I believe that. See, everyone that was complaining about the CGI side of things for She-Hulk, I was thinking personally, there's no way they just let that slide.
I can't.
That's
going
to get better.
Yeah, I can't imagine somebody at Disney, Marvel, the Avengers Tower, a zillion guys in suits who control everything. I can't imagine someone is not going to come down the hallway and just knock on the door and say, no, and then turn around and walk back.
Well, that means Robbie's going to hate it. Because
they may have done that with Thor, though. I mean, I've talked to a couple people. They said, well, Gore's probably not going to end up looking that way, too. I'm sure they'll do something. Well, the action figure's leaked already. And that's how he looks on the action figure too. So I don't know. When you said that before, I gotta say, of all the Marvel stuff that I have read, that Thor run by Jason Aaron, that is actually one of my favorite ones that of all Marvel stuff that I've read. I love it.
Well, everybody is. I'm way in the sort of the weeds on this thing. Everyone I've spoken to who has read this, not just Thor fans, everyone who has read this thinks this is like top shelf storytelling. It's amazing work.
I believe
not
so.
like this thing. Everyone. I read it and I was just like,
I think JD brings up an interesting point.
I think that's 100% it.
Yeah, I think you're dealing with a lot of eggs combining. The studio wants Bale because he's a star. Bale doesn't want his face covered by prosthetics because he's a capital A actor.
Well, yeah, because when he had the giant bat mask on his face, I could totally tell that was American Psycho. Totally.
So we'll see how that rolls out. But again, I'm very excited to see that movie, regardless of what direction that ends up going in.
Once I have to check and make sure Gracie hasn't already blocked me. She was going on. I mean, she's done a ton of Thor cosplay. This is sort of, she's been waiting for this. You know what I mean? She's super excited. And she's like, oh, did you see it? And I was like, yes, period. That's all I wanted to say.
Probably prefaced with no offense, but
I think Natalie Portman looks great. I always go back and forth. Like, I was not a fan of Thor the Unworthy until the movies.
Right.
Like, I have no interest in seeing, people always say that. I have no interest in reading, The Day of Clark Kent. I don't care, man. I don't care. Like, I know he loves his mom's pie. I don't care about stuff like that. And Thor the Unworthy was essentially, just this dude, space Viking, whatever. I don't care, man. If I wanted to read this, I'd read a different book.
So Stevie B has an interesting question, and John's probably the most qualified to answer.
You know what? That I would love to see that. Vampira is, I have a little bit of a connection to Vampira from Dead Sled Coffee. There's a Vampira roast.
Right.
And I would love to see that. I don't know, and I hate to put it this way because it's so disrespectful, but I don't know if they're, well, no, look at it from Nick's perspective, right? I'm jumping into the publisher's shoes, right? At the end of the day, Nick has to publish stuff. Sure, he wants it to be good. He wants to make the fans happy, but people have to buy the book.
Right.
And I don't know if characters like Vampira or Tor Johnson, if there's enough in it. You know what I mean? If they can sell enough of these, you know what I mean? Ron the Sheer, dude, I would be super happy with that. I would, you know what? When we go to break, I'm going to ask Nick to do a Rhonda Shear comic. You know how much he loves when I do that in the middle of the show. But
Or at any time.
Or at any time. I just don't know if I know. I will say this. I know. To my knowledge, there's no plans to do Elvira meets Vampire, and my guess would be maybe like you would probably be closer to something like maybe Elvira meets, like I think they've already done Elvira and Kiss or whatever, or Vampirella and Kiss. Elvira sort of has a comedy element that I don't know would mix with, like Vampirella will tell like a dry humor joke, but she's not Chuckles.
Right.
She takes your head off with her giant hideous bat wings. And I don't know if that's who Elvira would play real well with is Army of Darkness.
That would be a good combo.
Elvira, especially Elvira in 1979 or whatever, just starting out, young Cassandra runs into the S-Mart, runs into Ash, Deadites everywhere. That's a story that, actually, you know what? I'm not going to say anymore until I sign a pitch letter, because I've done enough for this company for the last 20 years.
I hate to break this to you. You probably already told them. You just forgot. All right, so let's get another book up.
I wanted to ask Alec, though, real quick.
Yeah.
What did you see this week in New Comic Book Day that you liked? Story by John. Can you imagine? Nobody's reading that book.
Let's see. I got my stack right here. I forgot to get the new Ice Cream Man. But outside of that, there's some good stuff. Mainly the indies, as always. Marvel had a couple good ones, but we had James Tynion IV. He came out with Something Is Killing the Children, Department of Truth this week. They were both fantastic reads. They kind of got a new thing. I mean, they both Something Is Killing the Children is not a new arc, but they introduced a new character, and then Department of Truth felt like a brand new arc. They're finally back on pace a little bit in that series. The last, I felt like probably 5 or 6 issues at this point has just been a conspiracy kind of issue. But this one goes back to Cole, one of the main characters, and it kind of gets back on track, and I was really happy about that. But Marvel, they did, looks like I got Moon Knight, the new Hulk issue, Amazing Spider-Man.
I think Captain Carter came out this week. I'm not sure how that book is.
That one did come out. I haven't been reading it, though. And I saw Preston said, how was the recount preamble? I actually was really looking forward to that. My shop did have it. However, I don't know if maybe I was just being a little stingy on it because I already picked up 12, 13 issues this week. But that issue was $6. And that was definitely a turnoff.
I got to tell you, man, if a book is $6, there better be more to it than just 22 pages. Or something.
I think there was extra pages. And to be honest, the story is very good. The artwork is nice as well. But this isn't a brand new series. It's a volume 2. So $6 on top of my already $4 books and $5 books. If it's $5, I always look at it like, $5, whatever. But $6, $7, it starts to get a little. If it's not one of my already ongoings, I tend to not.
I have that $5 kind of barrier too. I really do. Once I get past $5, and again, if it's a special issue or a special cover or something, that's a different story. Like, Spider-Man, like 800 or something like that would be fine, right? But for just, like it's a relatively new book and I'm sort of like, you know what I mean? I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, you're kind of creeping up there. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Especially for old people. Well, I hate to say it, but old people remember paying like $1.50 for a book. And now I'm paying $6 for something. I'm like, all right. I mean, there was a couple books that came out this week that I really love. People always ask if I read stuff other than Dynamite. Sure, I do. British Paranormal Society came out this week.
I heard that's really good.
I really enjoy that. You sort of have to be, I guess the best way to put it is you have to kind of be down with that sort of Hellboy world.
I was going to say, that's Dark Horse, right?
Yeah, it's Dark Horse. It's very BPRD, bumping, the whole line of, bumping back when the things are bumping that I really like that. Aerosmith came out from Kurt Busiek, and this is a really cool world. This is a world I would like to see on a streaming service. Kind of like World War I meets fantasy. Instead of fighter pilots, they're dragon pilots. I really think that those are sort of, you know what I mean? That's a world that I enjoy. There's a couple of things that came out this week that are, they're kind of under the radar a little bit. I always say this, and I don't mean this to be hurtful, but these are things you wind up picking up in a trade. Like, you don't get the issues, right? You wind up, you see the trade, and you're like, okay. Dynamite had that book. It was Nancy Drew. Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, I love. That was Anthony Del Cole. He did a great job in that book. But almost everyone I know is like, yeah, I just waited and got it. I just got to collect it.
Right.
It's not the kind of thing that you get every issue.
All right. So before we go to our next break, let's get another book out there.
Sure.
This one's a cool one. Daredevil number 25, second printing variant, signed by Frank Miller. And tonight we have one available for $250. It is number 4 of 25.
Frank Miller's signature, man. Ooh.
And we have just one available tonight.
I don't think there's going to be. I don't think there's that many available at all to begin with. I mean,
there's probably not that many.
Or, is sort of winding down his appearances. He's not doing a ton of signings or whatever. His days of sitting on, Writer's Row or Artist Alley hour after hour, at his level, that's kind of dumb.
Right. No, I hear you. All right. So should we do one more book?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do, you know what? Since AR just mentioned him, let's do Batman number 91, signed by James Tynion IV. Suggested retail of $49.99, and we have one available for $27 for Detective number 27. It is number 36 of 140.
He's one of those creators that, let's be honest, it seems like everything he touches turns to gold. I mean, it's sort of like an old cliche, but can anybody name a bad book that this guy has done in the last 5 years, 10 years, whatever it's been?
Right.
I mean, it seems like whatever he does just works.
Right. Preston's claiming it. All right, Preston, you got it, buddy.
Nice job. Yeah, I mean, this is one of these things where between his signature and Batman, that's almost kind of like a no-brainer. I'm glad to see someone pick that up.
Absolutely. All right, it is time for our next break, and when we get back, we'll do a recap, which John also enjoys. So
I'll be back in 15 minutes.
We'll be back in a couple.
Did you know that every experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out. Twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code.
Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
Who would win, Batman or Superman? It's the age-old debate, except it's so much more complicated than that. Nerd Killer Warfare every week on The Experience is your chance to debate other nerds in the questions we've all been asking for years, except we take those debates and turn them up to 11. Go to bit.ly/EXP casting or scan the QR code to be part of the show.
Now we're making a hole in the fountain.
We are back. All right, so we now come to the part of the show that is John's favorite, and that would be the recap.
That's why he's still on his phone.
He thinks it makes him.
He said.
All right, so I'm going to start the recap off because we have it on every show, just so everybody has it. We've been talking about not presenting it anymore. There was a frenzy early on when we had it, but people haven't been picking it up lately, so that's cool too. Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles with cover prices of $3.99 or higher, so suggested retail of $40 or higher. As always, we have, as a thank you to our viewers, $5 for 10 books, 50 cents a book. So that's not technically in the recap, but I want to throw it out there. So now, time for the recap. We have Daredevil number 25, second printing variant signed by Frank Miller, legendary Frank Miller. We have one available, number 4 of only 25 signed for $250 to commemorate issue number 25. Then we had one of our best offer books of the night, Legion of Superheroes number 1, signed by Ryan Sook. Best offer starting at $15. It is number 5 of 70 that were ever signed. Then we had, give that a minute. Then we had East of West number 2, signed by writer Jonathan Hickman, suggested retail of $89.99. It is a best offer book starting at $20, and Hickman's signature is tough to get, and it is number 6 of only 10 ever signed. All right, and let's see. That one was claimed by Preston, and that one was claimed by Preston. All right, then we had Batman number 44, Joel Jones variant cover, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. We have suggested retail of $89.99. We have one available for as a best offer item starting at $39. Okay, and then, all right, and then we did Sheena, Queen of the Jungle number 6, Lucio Perillo, ultraviolet virgin cover, suggested retail of $50. We have one available tonight for $40. All right. And then finally, we have Red Sonja number 9, Robert Castro virgin cover, suggested retail of $50, and we have one available for $40. Let's see. I'm just reading what Marcus wrote. All right. So let's see. What can we do next, you guys?
Let Alec pick one, man.
Yeah, pick one, Alec.
I like that that CCA right in the front.
Which one?
I think it's a Venom book, but it's got Scream on it.
I know which one you're talking about. All right. So it's Venom number 1, signed with 5 symbiotes on the cover. Cool. With 5 symbiote cover sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $89.99, and we have one available for $62 for Amazing Fantasy number 15. Which
you can stop reading.
Man, Ron was quick.
You can stop reading.
You got it, Ron. It's yours, buddy. All right. So let's see. Stevie B. Man, we got some old men in here, including myself and John. It's like, dude, Alec, you're the youngest one. I mean, by far.
You
I didn't know
the
Stevie
commercial,
B was
man.
63. What's that?
The commercial is the best.
I really do like that one.
That commercial.
Yeah, so does Ron.
Do you guys just want me to play it right now? I can do that.
Yeah, let's see it right now.
Play
What the
right
heck?
now,
Yeah.
man.
Sorry, I had to see. All right, let's see it. Here we go.
Comic Collectables is here for you every Wednesday with AR Comics for 2 very important reasons: to sell you rare, one-of-a-kind comics that you'll love, and to confuse AR with old man talk. You see, Rex and John are, how should I put this, ancient as the roots of the mountains. So every week, Rex and John fill in AR in yet another area of pop culture that he missed because he's too young, just didn't have the time, or just really doesn't care about. It's a real public service they provide. Come buy some super rare and unique comics, while old men explain long-dead sci-fi shows to a younger man making that confused puppy face. Every Wednesday from 6 to 8 Eastern with Rex, John, and AR Comics. Comic Collectables, on the experience. Comic culture and sales.
That's a good one.
I want to say that I resent the fact that every time there's another person representing me and John as these 2 old guys, but AR gets all these young people. I mean, I resent that. But well done, JD, but still, I kind of resent that.
You know, I also really like the commercial that you guys did with Rock and Robbie where it's saying John's a ghost. I like that one a lot too.
I think that was also done by JD. So kudos to JD. All right.
Yeah, confused puppy face person. That got me too.
But I'm still somewhat resentful. I'm not going to lie. I can't help it.
You're just so old, though.
Okay, I'm not the one who's like constantly updating my social media so I can feel like I'm getting younger. Okay, I at least
you play softball. It's a child's game.
I do not play softball. I coach softball.
Do you rescue squirrels?
No, my daughter rescues squirrels. Okay, I'm the one who has to figure out what to do. I gotta call my contacts.
This is awful.
At the shelter. Look, my daughter rescued a squirrel. What do I do? Okay.
Rex is the all business financial side of the operation. His daughter just saves the squirrel.
That squirrel has 1,300 followers on Facebook now. Did you see the?
That really makes me very sad. All right, where Rupenstein, you got it, buddy. All right, hold on. Let's get where Rupenstein down. All right, where Rupenstein.
I really like East of West too. I thought that was really cool. The artwork was fantastic. It is very. You've got to be a Hickman fan to enjoy that story, though.
Yeah, I think that's a great sort of analysis of that. I certainly, I put it this way, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but it's not for everyone. You know what I mean? I know people who pick up an issue and they're like, "Oh, this is awful," and I'm like, "You gotta," you know what I mean? I'll tell you what some of Hickman's work reminds me of. It reminds me a little bit of like Warren Ellis type work or Mark Millar type work, where you have to sort of buy into their vision of storytelling, like Silicon, right? And if you buy into it,
right,
great. I've tried to turn people on to Mark Millar in the past, and they're just like, "What are you reading? This is awful." And I'm like, "Oh man, this is, you know, I mean, I love the stuff he did. You know, people like Jupiter's Legacy. This was terrible." I'm like, first of all, the comic was a lot better, but second of all, you know, you have to just try to see things through.
By the way, I like the show. By the way,
I like Jupiter's Legacy. Let's put it this way: I can see why they didn't renew it. I wasn't happy, but I could see looking at it from their suit-wearing point of view, where you're like, yeah, no.
I enjoyed it. I was disappointed they canceled it. Thank you, JD. If you want to check out John's Instagram and make yourself hungry, go ahead. I will throw this disclaimer out. Be sure you've eaten something prior to checking it out, because
don't be putting them pictures up. I'm hungry right now.
Today was Wiener Wednesday, and I haven't done a hashtag Wiener Wednesday picture in a while, so
I saw the one you posted.
For Rupenstein, I made a note, just so you know, more Claremont if I can find it. And I apologize to all the fans. I will get out to our satellite warehouse next week, try to dig out some more finds that I can scrape up here and there. But I will definitely look for more of the Chris Claremont signed stuff for you, where Rupenstein. Don't worry about that one. But the squirrel. Yeah, so I called my friend who gave me the advice what shelters it would take, something like that, and then she told me to lie, because apparently the shelter would be very upset if they knew that the squirrel came from Staten Island, and I was trying to rescue it here to New Jersey, but where was I going to go in Staten Island? And we did look. Marcus Cornelius, yes. Her softball team, the girls always ask how he's doing. God, I hope they do.
That's funny.
We just tell him, he's living in the woods in Medford, New Jersey, a township very close to here. Lots of trees. We don't know. They were supposed to contact my daughter. They never contacted her. So we're really not sure what happened.
Open a window and let him go.
Well, I mean, he was hurt, man. The squirrel was hurt. I mean, didn't run, didn't try to attack my daughter, nothing. It was really, I have to say, I was like, don't let it bite you.
You should really go in your daughter's room, because I guarantee you that the squirrel is in there living its best life.
No, the cat would have figured it out.
Oh, okay.
So, Stevie B, what exit on the turnpike? Ironically enough, technically it could be exit 3, but it really isn't. It's in Pennsauken, so it's technically still exit 4.
I have the GPS coordinates from my phone for when I need to get over there.
Yeah, and what time does the security leave as well?
Listen,
they're
they've got
3.5-hour shifts, and what happens is if you catch like a 7-minute window, you're in.
You remember Mission Impossible?
Oh yeah, I hear the music in my head right now.
You remember when Tom Cruise had to suspend himself from the ceiling?
Yeah, I had to use extra wires. It was all wires. It was a solid object. They just.
I'm just telling you, there's a touch-sensitive pad that goes on when we turn on the security system. Marcus,
12127, Marcus.
The code is 1. You might want to get a pen. 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
You remember that?
Well, I'm afraid to go
Dude,
over.
they have a picture of you with a big circle, okay, and a slash through it.
That's why you see me take a picture of Nick. I blow it up on my phone and I put his eye by the retinal thing. So it's like, welcome, publisher.
Yeah, we don't have that kind of budget. We hire a human being who carries your picture around in binoculars. Is the perimeter clear? The perimeter is clear. We can all leave.
Password. Oh my God.
The perimeter is clear. Yes, Marcus, I could repeat that. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just like my email password.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's my debit and credit card PIN number too. It's everybody.
Mine too. Oh my God.
I just use it for everything, man. You don't need to complicate.
Oh my gosh. All right, so let's get to another book here. Let's see. What do we want to do? Let me see. Oh, here's a good one.
Slap?
I like this one. What?
You want to do slap?
Yeah, let's do a slap. All right. All right, so John has made an executive decision. Let's do a slap. All right, let's do a Dynamite slap.
Nice.
Vampirella Volume 5, Number 1, CGC graded 9.8. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is a 5-star Volume 5 at $50.
It's a double-sided book too. It's a wraparound cover.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right.
It's a wraparound cover here.
Yeah. All right.
I got it.
All right.
This is like one of my favorite. Little bit of a throwback from 2019.
Yes, Stevie B. We do know the Turnpike exit joke, my friend. Say, those of us that live in New Jersey, we don't make that joke. We do, however, ask what number on the Garden State Parkway. Geez, Stevie B and New Yorker, they always, I'm telling you, buddy.
Wait, you guys don't do exits?
We don't do what?
Exits? Wait, what's the joke? What am I missing?
Joke? You've never heard? My gosh, that commercial really is true.
Oh,
Are you too young to know the joke?
Just put me down.
Parkway? The joke is, if you live in New Jersey, everybody asks you,
What exit
do you live on? Do you live off of? But there are only technically 15, right? What's your GW
on the Turnpike?
bridge?
I think the bridge is 16W.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I think that's like
right.
the bridge, and then
that's
course,
the last exit.
One is the Delaware Memorial Bridge.
Right. One is Delaware Memorial Bridge. So the Parkway is more of an inside joke because there are like a bajillion exits on the Parkway. Okay, 110, 115, 116.
Oh, you go down the shore and you see people exit 44, exit, like they just have the sticker.
Yeah.
They have the mile marker sticker on there. My favorite one is the people who live in Cape May. They have the best sticker, man.
We're on 102 on the Parkway. Preston, we don't tell New Jersey jokes in the Midwest.
Tinton Falls?
I can't imagine why.
102 is what, like Tinton Falls?
But hey, the more you know. Now I know.
I don't even know. Is it?
You know what?
That's Central Jersey 102, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think that would be like Tinton Falls or maybe that's Monmouth County.
JD, no, we've got Detroit for that.
No, we've got Detroit for that.
Hey, it truly is the Garden State.
Do old slabs.
Fight me.
Do old slabs. Get them all out of the way.
All right, let's do another slab. All right. All right. This one is a personal favorite of mine, which then will justify the reason why I brought another book that we've had on before. I got into a Kurt Swan sort of thing. Ron, Asbury Park.
Asbury Park.
Action Comics number 1000, 1960s variant. Variant cover, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. Suggested retail of $89.99. We have one available for $60 for 1960s. And
considering how so many old people are in this room, I'm going to expect someone picks this up. Just go checks. Come on now.
Oh, Preston, Snooky is the only thing we know about New Jersey out here. Ouch.
Snooki.
Ouch.
Ironically, isn't she from New York?
Yes, I think so. Isn't she from New York?
Almost all of them are from New York.
I think they're all sort of. They're like
they're all like the Staten Island folk.
They're sort of.
Seattle's never been the same.
Depending on where you are, some people, depending where you lived on the shore, they were Bennies. Shuby's sort of.
Believe it or not, Preston, it's such a small state, but we really like to divide ourselves.
Well, it's just so densely populated.
That's true too.
I mean, people will go to war over like which rest area is better on the turnpike, and I'm like, slow down.
Or Taylor ham pork roll.
Oh, that's the big one.
That's the big one.
Well, that's because it's pork roll.
Well, if you live in South Jersey, it's pork roll. If you live in North Jersey,
you're
it's Taylor ham.
Mistaken. Then you're mistaken.
That goes without saying.
No, Pete Genovese, a food writer who I've known for several years. He's on a bunch of my shows. He has a great thing because he's from Central Jersey, right? So he talks about this. All Taylor ham is pork roll, but not all pork roll is Taylor ham.
I don't even know what that means. I really don't.
Taylor ham is the brand, right? For example, the pork roll.
Is it?
What?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was the actual brand.
The pork roll I currently eat in my house now, my current Dave pork roll, doesn't even come from New Jersey. It comes from Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Oh, well, that would make sense because I think the whole pork roll thing extends into Eastern Pennsylvania as well.
So there's sort of like Taylor ham is probably
like Scrapple does. You know?
Yeah, Taylor ham is the prominent brand, but there are other people making pork roll. Small places, big places.
I was actually just going to ask you. I don't know if we've ever talked about Scrapple on this stream, but I really like Scrapple too.
We're going to now.
We will now, buddy.
Let me tell you how I make Scrapple fries.
I'm ready for it.
I personally love Scrapple, but let's get another book up there before we talk about Scrapple. So we have Death of Wolverine #1, Dynamic Forces exclusive, signed by J.G. Jones. We have one available, #4 of 340.
Wow.
Available for $39.99.
Wow, that's a nice little number, man. People who are into that, this is your moment.
Yeah, if you collect for numbers,
That's just a great cover. I'm not like the hugest Wolverine fan, but that's a book I would have just to have the cover.
So I have a funny story about Scrapple, right? So I raised my daughter right, started feeding her Scrapple when she was very, very young. Right. So we go to diners, whatever. And, I try to make her order the bacon and then she takes a piece of my Scrapple, but then I take some bacon. Right. But now it's she wants the Scrapple as well. So we're driving, ironically enough, to a softball tournament in South Carolina, get in real late. And the one standby that I always hit when we're out of this area to eat for breakfast stuff is Waffle House. All right. Waffle House is open because the hurricane warning system uses Waffle Houses to know what's up, what's down. Right?
Yep.
Believe that. True story. I kid you not. So we roll into Waffle House, and I like Waffle House. Believe me. And we're ordering, and my daughter orders Scrapple. And the waitress with a southern accent says, "Oh, all right, honey," whatever, and starts writing down. I'm like, whoa. There's definitely miscommunication going on here because I know for a fact they don't have Scrapple. I go to my daughter. I go, "Honey, they don't have Scrapple." Waitress goes, "What? What is that?" I said, "Scrapple." She goes, "Oh no, we don't have that." She thought she said sausage or something. I don't know. All right, Scrapple is.
Ronald is right. Scrapple is with a pig. You use everything but the squeal. And Scrapple is sort of that stuff close to the squeal. I mean, there's, when you butcher a hog, you get some great cuts, ribs, whatever. This would probably be a Kyle thing. I'm sure he probably knows the butchery of a hog or whatever. Scrapple is sort of, it's a little bit of like it's the sweet meat of the pig.
But you got to make it right. You do, and most people
don't know.
There's like
a whole process.
Yeah, if you're trying to buy it at home or make it at home, you got to bread it first to make good Scrapple.
And it can't. I'll tell you right now too. Sometimes people they drop it in a deep fryer. Don't do that. It should be cooked on like a griddle. Take your time.
Yes.
Do it carefully.
Excuse me. I just want to say to Ron, okay, look at me and John. We've been eating Scrapple all our lives.
I am 29 years old.
And listen, Ron, it's safer than getting tased regularly by your wife. That's all I'm saying. We're Rupenstein. I believe you're from Canada, right? Boy, you don't know what you're missing, buddy. And Ron, you obviously had Scrapple made by an amateur.
It's like a weird pork meatloaf type thing.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I only have it a few times a year because I don't ever see it in grocery stores. Oh, I guess I don't really look for it too hard, but I don't see it often, and I don't see it on a lot of menus in my area.
Well, I don't know that I've been to a lot of diners in Allentown. That may be a little too far west.
See, it's more of like a Lancaster, Lebanon County, like a southeast Pennsylvania thing. You might be kind of a little bit
a little too far west.
Yeah, because he's across the river from Warren County in New Jersey, right? I'm trying to think of what that county is right over.
Because when I lived in Westchester, it felt like every restaurant had that as a breakfast item, Scrapple. And I would get it very often. And then when I moved from Westchester back home, well, years later, now eventually back home, I didn't see it once, and I didn't see it once out in Oklahoma. But here, I don't see it almost anywhere. And I keep thinking about it all the time, like, man, like, I wonder if they don't sell it. And my dad actually, I forget where he said he got it from, but last time I visited home, because my girlfriend came to visit with, and she never had it before, and he was like, oh, you've got to try it. And he bought it from somewhere and cooked it all up, and it was good. And I was like, man, it has been years since I had this.
Let me tell you, I was so proud, a proud dad moment when my daughter actually went out to the supermarket, bought it, and made it at home. Looked up the recipe and made it at home, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't diner quality yet, but I was very, very happy. Preston, it is not a mystery meat. We know exactly what goes in the Scrapple. We just don't want to tell you because we're afraid you'll get a little scared. Between Stevie
My
B.
cholesterol level 747. Had a check.
Like the jumbo jet.
I'm feeling fine.
Stevie B, we don't like to talk about cholesterol level on this show. Okay, it just reminds us of things we don't really want to know about.
We don't worry about that here.
Eventually, they'll put me in a slab.
I believe Josh Wren is correct. It was originally an Amish.
It's an Amish thing.
Yeah,
I
wouldn't be surprised.
I have family from that part of Pennsylvania, so a lot of this stuff is one of the reasons why I grew up with it. I get Scrapple made by, I don't want to say they're related to me. They're very distantly related to me, I guess would be the best way to put it, through marriage. But I will go out to their farm in Stevens, PA, and grab some of this Scrapple. That's how good it is. When you get it fresh from the hog butcher, it is absolutely delicious.
All right, I'm going to throw another book out, and then I want to address Preston's question. All right, so next up, we have The Walking Dead number 151, Ultra Limited Blood Red Signature Edition, signed by Stefano Guadiano. Number 47 of 50. Suggested retail of $59.99, and we have one available for $29.99. Preston, do you mean Menudo the band?
No, he means Menudo. It's like a dish. It's like I think it's like soup type. It's not soup, but it's sort of like in a bowl and maybe hominy or something. I'm trying to.
So Preston, Ron Shepard, you were wise beyond your years.
Dynamite's new HDL comic line. See, I'd be fine for that.
Listen, I'm having more fun eating Scrapple than getting tased. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Maybe electricity would break up the. Maybe electricity would break up like the clogged arteries and stuff.
Maybe.
He might be on something there.
Let's see. Ron says, that's why I'm still here, my friend, although my wife sits a day-to-day.
There's a little place on the boardwalk that does Menudo in the wintertime.
Oh, really?
Down in Atlantic City. And I got to tell you, you see all the immigrants. Like, I'll watch whatever food I like. Like, if I want Korean food, I try to find out where the Korean Americans eat. If I want Mexican food, I try to find out where the Mexican Americans eat, because I know that's like the more authentic food, right? Like I'm not going over to like Mexican Food Factory or something. Nothing against them, but it's like one step from cheese.
You notice how he always does that? Nothing against them. What are you talking about? You just said something against them.
No, it's just a matter of authenticity. If I want Japanese, if I want sushi,
what do you think of El Azteca up on Route 73?
I try not to.
Really?
I've had their food twice, and the experiences have not been great.
Really, I've actually had food there multiple times. I like it.
They just had a situation where someone reported they were closed. There was
I thought they were bought out.
There was a sign on the door or something, and I was just like,
I will be very disappointed. Back to Taco Bell.
Ron, with my wife, it's a day-to-day thing.
All right, so
Ron's on what I call wife support. We'll see.
Let's do. You know what? Let's do another CCA. What do you think?
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. So we have Amazing Spider-Man number 648 with cover sketch art of Spider-Woman by Laura Guzzo. Something a little different for CCAs.
Yeah, I was just saying, we've done this one before.
We have not. I do not believe we have ever done this.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
That's a cool signature at the bottom too.
Yeah, that's a very cool signature on the bottom. Yeah, I don't remember seeing this before.
All right, Creative Keep.
Creative Keep wants it. Okay, bud.
Damn, I don't
see it again. Done.
I don't think any info was given about that. It just screen done.
Yep.
Well, it jumps off the page. It's very vibrant. The color.
I like it.
All right, so I was kind of waiting for Lars, man, but he might be busy tonight because I know he's a huge ASM fan, right? So we put together, and this is a little different than what we normally do. So we have a mega kit, but it's not the same mega configuration that we normally do. All right, so this one is the Spider-Verse variant cover mega kit. Okay, so it'll come with one CGC graded, and the rest of them are variant covers that are unsigned. Okay, so it includes Spider-Gwen number 19, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. Amazing Spider-Man number 800, comic exposure, exclusive. Amazing Spider-Man volume 3, number 2, cover B, Midtown Comics exclusive. J. Scott Campbell color variant cover. Spider-Gwen number 2, Dynamic Forces exclusive variant by Jerome Opeña. And then Amazing Spider-Man volume 3, number 1, cover B, Midtown exclusive, J. Scott Campbell connecting color variant, cover 2 of 3. It has a suggested retail of $199.95. We have one available tonight for $119.62. So we kind of mixed up the components of the mega kit, but I thought it'd be a little interesting.
I like this variant. I mean, the Spider-Verse is a huge thing, right? I kind of like the idea of a variant mega. I like this a lot. It's a little bit different than just the usual sort of, the
mega kit. Yeah,
mega kit. No, I like that.
So trying to mix it up, trying to do stuff that we haven't really done before. So there you go. So that is the mega kit of the night. Let me see what time it is. Oh, we got to go to our last break. Yep. And then we'll be back. I'll do a quick recap, and then we'll get through the rest of the books and talk about more meat that you have to identify, that may not identify as meat. So stay with us. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Get the inside scoop on everything happening at the experience every week. Join our mailing list by scanning the QR code at the bottom of the screen and then watching your email inbox.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey, and behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
There's a super new way to support your friends over at The Experience. Head over to YouTube and send us a super chat, a super sticker, or a super thanks. We'll be super grateful for your support, and then keep an eye out as we launch membership services over on YouTube. It'll be a great way to get first look access at new content and shows before anybody else. Keep your eyes peeled and make sure you're following us on YouTube.
Okay, and we're back. All right, so let's get through a few more books. I'll do another recap. You know what? Let me do a recap on the best offer books. So we have Batman number 44, Joel Jones variant cover, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8, where Rubenstein is in the lead at $39. Then we had, let's see, Legion of Superheroes number 1, signed by Ryan Sook. Also a best offer item where Rubenstein is also in the lead on that one for $15. And then East of West number 2, signed by Jonathan Hickman. And that is the best offer book, and where Rubenstein is in the lead on that one as well at $20. All right, so next up, this is a nice one. I like this one. Let's do Avengers X-Men Axis number 1, Dynamic Forces exclusive gold signature edition, signed by Adam Kubert.
Nice.
It is number 6 of 31 signed, signed in gold, obviously. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is one of our 5-star books at $50, and Adam Kubert's signatures are very difficult to get.
Not only that, but I guess that's Superior Iron Man on the cover.
Right, yes.
The rumors floating around about Tom Cruise appearing as the Superior Iron Man.
I don't really want him to be Iron Man.
Oh, I'd love for him to be
And don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to eventually seeing Top Gun Maverick. It's gotten a great Rotten Tomatoes score.
It's awesome.
It's my generation. Awesome. I definitely. Oh yes. Also to recap, sign up for the mailing list. If you're going to be at, let's see, if you're going to be at the Cherry Capital Comic Con this coming weekend? Yes, this coming weekend.
This weekend, yeah.
Or next weekend in Washington D.C. for Awesome Con. There in the emailer there will be specific instructions on how to win some really neat prizes. So definitely sign up for the mailing list if you want to be a part of that. And let's see. Okay. Let me click back here. Okay, here we go. So, all right. So we did the Kubert book. I did a recap. Okay. So let me see. What do we want to do next? Let's do another Dynamite book next, you think?
Sure.
We have one more Dynamite book here tonight. John Carter Mars, number 2. John Royle? Royal. Maybe I spelled it wrong in the sheet. Virgin cover. Suggested retail of $50, and we have one available for $40.
He's done some really cool covers for Dynamite. He's one of those people I would like to probably see do a little more. I don't know what his schedule is like, but when I see that he has a cover, I'm always I'm real happy. He has like an epic illustrated vibe to his art that I really like.
Josh went. Kyle's in Ohio, so I'm pretty sure the curly fries are going to be cold by the time they get to you.
Maybe.
And the ice in your soda will have melted.
Kyle probably has a little bit, and I don't want to speak for him, but he probably has a little bit of the same problem I have. When you can cook, and I say this not even remotely humbly, but when you can really cook, it's difficult to be satisfied with like drive-through, takeout.
I don't know. There was that period we was eating a lot of takeout pizza.
Me?
No. Kyle, remember?
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's when we were shooting in the lobby.
Oh, that's right.
See?
One of the things I'm looking at is there is an attachment for my Blackstone griddle to make pizza.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
I actually had a sort of attachment for my Weber kettle to make pizza. And it was
a lot of work when we have really good pizza like everywhere.
There's that too. Unfortunately, there are things I like to put on pizza that a lot of local pizza places don't have.
Oh, do tell. We want to hear this.
One of my favorite pizzas is anchovies and roasted garlic.
That sounds really good.
If you like anchovies and garlic, yeah.
Alex threw up a little bit in his mouth.
I know.
I don't like anchovies though. I do. I really like cooking with garlic, so I can at least respect that half of it.
Let me ask you a question. What was the pizza like when you lived in Oklahoma?
Probably like Papa John's or whatever, I would think, right? Domino's.
Was there any decent pizza joint that you could turn to while you were there?
No. There's a couple places that we would get pizza from, but it was basically all the same.
Do they have Denver-style pizza in Oklahoma, or is that the wrong part of the country? Denver is sort of like this.
Yeah, I gotta look that up too.
deep dish and it's hard to explain. I've had Denver pizza only once when I was in Denver for a con, and it was very odd. It was sort of like this. It drew from
It does look weird.
Sicilian pizza, to use like a Jersey slang. It drew from a Sicilian pizza. It drew from a deep dish pizza. Dough was a different consistency. Their sauce was very sweet. Now, I don't know if that was endemic to this place we were eating. That was Denver's #1 spot.
Right.
It does look good, though.
Oh, like I said, there was nothing bad about it. It's just, like you're used to what you're used to, right? Like one of the people at our table was from Chicago, and she hated it. She's like, "This is awful." And I'm like, "I don't think this is awful. I come from New Jersey. We're pizza snobs. I don't think this is terrible." I would remind her, we are in Denver, Colorado. We are far, far from
I'll be honest,
our respective pizza universes.
I was in Denver 5 years ago. Didn't even bother trying the pizza.
Really?
I get to a certain part of the country and I'm thinking, you guys don't have any clue how to make pizza out here, so I'm not going to try it and risk it. I mean, Chicago, love what is that place? Giordano's.
Giordano's is good. Gino's East is good.
I mean, what we call deep dish here and what they call deep dish. I mean, we ordered. I was there for a convention and a whole bunch of us from work, and we ordered pizza that we would normally order here in New Jersey, and we ordered way too much because the pizza comes out, it's like a quiche. It's so deep dish. You
get back to the room and
we're
the
like,
next thing
well,
you 8 pounds of pizza.
I think we're like, oh my god, we ordered way too much pizza. And there was like 6 of us, right? So I love that kind of traditional deep dish. Uno's not even close. And then obviously the pizza we get here. Now they call it Brooklyn style. I just call it pizza, but
Now, what I will say though, out there is a place. Now I don't know where Preston is from, but I think it's in Oklahoma City. It's called Empire Slice House. That's probably the closest thing you're going to get to an East Coast style pizza. It was very good. It was extremely good.
Yeah, we're total pizza snobs here. Yeah, JD, me either. I didn't until you moved out there. Yeah, I had no idea what it. To this day, that's the first time I ever even heard of Detroit style. I have no idea what that is.
A friend of mine wrote a book about pizza and did a deep dive into pizza. There is New Orleans style pizza. There is Miami style pizza. I had no
pretenders. All of them.
My understanding of that was like non-existent. And when he said, like New Orleans style pizza, I'm like there's crawfish on a regular pizza? No.
That actually wouldn't feel so bad.
No, that wouldn't be bad at all. But I have no problem throwing seafood on pizza. I know a lot of times in Jersey that's a no-no. I like shrimp on pizza. I like crab meat on pizza.
There's only one thing I can't stand on a pizza.
What?
Pineapple.
Yeah, especially
that is so wrong.
Here in New Jersey, that's a no. That
is so
when
wrong.
When people do the pineapple on pizza, everybody goes, ooh.
My daughter had a phase where she wanted pineapple, and I'd literally have to.
Well, it's warm pineapple and this warm kind of sliced deli ham. Who's eating that?
I had to order her own pie because I refused to have any of my food touch that. That's just a travesty on so many levels.
I told my wife if I had known that she liked that pizza before I married her,
you wouldn't be married.
She would not be the luckiest woman in the world right now. She would be married to somebody else.
Oh, she's the luckiest woman in the world because you come here twice a week.
She's hoping this show is nightly, man. I'm surprised she's not banging Nick's text like, don't you need the show to be 3 hours, 6 nights a week? That would be great.
Maybe 8 hours. Preston, can't agree with you. Pineapple is great on pizza, but what?
Start removing.
I don't even know you, Preston.
I think if we just touch them, we can remove people from the chat.
I don't even know you anymore, man.
Hey, people like what they like. One of the things I used to talk about on my radio show is people like what they like.
Oh, I know that.
I mean, I've seen people eat the Big Mac pizza.
Unless it's your child. I finally cured her of that. She never orders pineapple on pizza ever again.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, it's just so wrong on so many levels. All right, let's get to our last CCA of the night. Green Lantern Season 2, #1, signed with cover sketch art of Green Lantern by Ken Hazer.
This is a great book.
We're not sure if the green meets the John approval of green, but it is absolutely great.
It absolutely does, and I discussed this with Ken Hazer on Instagram. He sent me that message because I have.
All right. Creative Keep, you got it,
Creative
buddy.
Keep, I got to tell you, I have one of these.
Just so you know, it's $59.19.
Money is no object.
All right, got you, Creative Keep. You got it, buddy.
John returns home to the smell of pineapple and marinara. You know what? I've been married to my wife long enough that she knows that if I came home and I smell that, I will get my backpack and I will be right back out the door. One of the good things about
don't come back here.
One of the good things about being old and having a few bucks is there are times that I've gotten home and my wife was doing stuff and I'm shooting right over to the hotel.
Preston goes, it doesn't look like Ryan Reynolds.
Nice.
That's because we were ordered by
Nice.
Ryan Reynolds representatives not to make it look like him.
A buddy of mine took my advice. He's having a Green Lantern commission done with Green Lantern drawn like John Hamm. Like very Mad Men 1960s, like the Hal Jordan from the 60s.
Right.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
All right, let me get to the last book of the night real quick, and then we'll do a quick recap in a minute. Action Comics number 1000, DF exclusive cover, Kurt Swan variant, signed by Scott Schneider. Suggested retail is $69.99. It is one of our 5-star books at $50. It is number 4 of only 25 ever signed in silver. And I know we've had this on before, but after the CGC 1960s variant,
Yeah.
I kind of had Kurt Swan on the brain. So, all right. And let's go do
how long did Kurt Swan do Superman?
I don't know how long.
17 years, I think.
You might be right.
I mean, it's a long time. They had a little ceremony when he turned the pencil over to John Byrne or whatever. But that guy basically did Superman, I think, from like the late 50s to when Byrne took over in 82, 83, 84. I forget when Byrne took over Superman. He did that for a long time. And yeah, Hal Jordan as Nathan Fillion would be great. That's another one I think would be absolutely I'd love to see that. And the truth is, I would love to see that. If they were going to do some kind of live action version of Green Lantern, I would love to see it be Nathan Fillion. Although he would probably have to be the Hal Jordan a little bit older, with like the gray, because I think he's probably pushing 50. And I love Nathan Fillion, but I think he's too old to be the Gil Kane Green Lantern. Young hotshot test pilot.
Stevie B got his cable CCA. That's awesome by Brian Kong. I'm glad you like it, Stevie B. All right, so let's do a recap. As always, Dynamite 10-pack.
My attention must be waning because I could have sworn you just did one. Well, and then I'm like, wait, didn't you just do
It's 7:45. I just did one for the best offer.
Oh, okay. I was going to say,
and your attention is waning, by the way.
My attention. No, that's fair.
So, Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles. Suggested retail of 40 or higher. As always, as a thank you to our viewers, we have it for $5, so 50 cents a copy. Then we have, and 10 minutes left on the best offer items. Then we had Daredevil number 25, second printing variant, signed by Frank Miller. We have one available. It's number 4 of 25 signed for $250. Then we had The Walking Dead number 151, ultra limited blood red signature edition, signed by Stefano Guadiano. It's just a retail of $59.99, and we have one available, number 47 of 50 signed for $29.99.
Ron has to run. His wife is trying to have a good night, bud.
See you, Ron. I'll have Kyle bring Scrapple to the to the Awesome Con. Avengers X-Men Axis number 1 Dynamic Forces exclusive gold signature elite edition, signed by Adam Kubert. Suggested retail of $89.99, and it is one of our 5-star at $50 books. Then we had Legion of Superheroes number 1, signed by Ryan Sook. It is a best offer book, and where Rubenstein is in the lead at 15. Then we had East of West number 2, signed by Jonathan Hickman. Best offer book, and where Rubenstein is in the lead at 20. Then we had Action Comics number 1000, DF exclusive Kurt Swan variant, signed by Scott Schneider. Suggested retail of $69.99. It is one of our 5-star books at $50. It is number 4 of 25.
I think what you're hearing is the air conditioning.
It's the air conditioning.
When it kicks on in this building, it like seriously kicks on.
Otherwise, you'd see a very sweaty John and Rex if we didn't kick it on. And then we had Death of Wolverine, #1, Dynamic Forces exclusive cover, signed by J.G. Jones. We have one available, #4 of 340, for $39.99. See, that was plain, that was plain, that was plain, that was plain, that was plain. Here we go. Then we had Action Comics #1000, 1960s variant. Cover, CGC graded, guaranteed, 9.8.
That's a great cover.
Suggested retail of $89.99, and we have one available for $60. Then we had Vampirella Volume 5, #1, CGC graded, 9.8. Suggested retail of $89.99, and it is one of our 5-star books at $50. And then we had Batman #44, Joel Jones variant cover, CGC graded, guaranteed, 9.8. And it is a best offer book, and where Rubenstein is in the lead at 39. And then we had Sheena, Queen of the Jungle #6, Lucio Carrillo, Ultraviolet Virgin cover, suggested retail of 50.
Those ultraviolet covers are really sort of.
And we have one available for 40. Yeah, the colors
are just crazy.
All right, and then we had John Carter of Mars #2, John Royal Virgin cover, suggested retail of 50, and we have one available for 40.
He did a cover for DJ Thoris, and he has sort of a very like retro take on Mars that I really like.
All right, then we had Red Sonja #9, Robert Castro Virgin cover, suggested retail of 50, and we have one available for 40.
Take your not daughter to work day.
There you go. And then the Mega Kit, the Spider-Verse variant Mega Kit cover.
This is really cool.
Variant
This
cover
idea,
set.
It's very cool.
So change it up a little bit. It has suggested retail of $199.95. We have this available for $119.62. And it includes Spider-Gwen #19, CGC guaranteed, 9.8. Amazing Spider-Man #800, Comic Exposure exclusive. Amazing Spider-Man Volume 3 #2, Cover B, Midtown Comics exclusive, J. Scott Campbell color variant cover. Spider-Gwen #2, Dynamic Forces exclusive variant by Jerome Opeña. And then Amazing Spider-Man Volume 3 #1, Cover B, Midtown exclusive. J. Scott Campbell connecting color variant cover, 2 of 3. And to remind everybody, there is 5 minutes left for best offers. Hey, Joel, thanks for joining us, buddy.
Hey,
So,
now I know.
I want to thank everybody.
Yes.
I never want to forget this. Thanks everybody for joining us. We know there's a lot of options out there. We try to make this as entertaining as we can.
But people that don't live in this area, where else would you learn about scrapping?
Yikes. That's the wrong side of town.
All right, so Joel, just to give you the best offer books again, since you just joined us, Legion of Superheroes #1, signed by Ryan Sook. It's a best offer book, and when Rubenstein is in the lead at 15. Then we had East of West #2, signed by writer Jonathan Hickman, where Rubenstein, it is also a best offer book, where Rubenstein is in the lead at 20. And then we had Batman #44, Joel Jones variant cover, CGC graded, guaranteed, 9.8. And where Rubenstein is also in the lead on that best offer book at $39. So there you go.
Hey, so I know we're winding down on the stream, but I don't know if you guys caught what CGC is doing. I wanted to bring this up earlier, but I forgot about it. They're changing the parameters on their grading labels. So I don't know how you guys feel about this, but on their regular labels, they put out a thing that says that they're going to be modifying the defects listed on the labels. So they're going to be eliminating these notes on the label. So if you were interested in buying it, they're going to be getting rid of the phrases stickers, Siamese pages, punch holes, staples added after manufacturing, staples removed, detachments, fully split spines, tape, significant missing parts from the cover, lamination, miscuts, puzzles or coupons filled out. And then it also says that they're going to be discontinuing the use of the term incomplete on the label, as well as the terms affect story and does not affect story. But it will continue to use restoration on the label. So they're literally removing, I don't know, like everything from their labels that indicate that there's something wrong with the book.
I'm all about putting a happy, shiny face on things, but to a certain extent, you have to just level with people.
Yeah, I was not aware of that.
It's a service you're paying for, right? Yeah. It's not like it's like a common courtesy. You're paying to have this book graded ostensibly by a authority expert, have it slabbed. I think the least they can do for what they charge you is let you know what's wrong with the book.
I think that really, really affects collectors, because imagine you buy a Hulk 181, first Wolverine, and what's the biggest thing everybody asks? Well, is the stamp in there? The Marvel value stamp. Mm-hmm. That's the same thing with first Hobgoblin. Just, hey, are the tattoos attached? What if they're not attached and the stamp is ripped out, but CGC has a nice blue label on there for, say, an 8.5 or a 9 or something? Now people are spending thousands upon thousands of dollars on it. And then for some odd reason, they do decide to say, crack it open, and it's not in there. That would hurt. I would be very upset about that.
I think that leads to a lot of problems. I really do. I think it, to a certain extent, it undervalues or undermines the confidence you have in them. Because now all of a sudden you're putting it in plastic. Well, I can put the book in plastic. We're asking you to look at the book with an expert eye, and you know what I mean? Yeah, that was what I thought.
You know what it sounds like to me?
CBCS is going to be like, oh, we love this.
Going forward, I mean, that makes me not want to buy a CGC slab at all, because I'm nervous depending on what the book would be, because where Rubenstein says not sure why you would get a book graded with those kinds of damages, because there's scumbags out there. There's people who are going to try to work the system and get a damaged or, incomplete book for a high grade and say, oh, yeah, look at this book. It's a 9 or whatever. And they're going to sell it for a 9, even though it's not a complete book.
Well, Creative Keep says they're doing something like you have to have a membership to get graders notes. That's interesting.
I'll tell you how, unless if they update how they do their grader notes, because I spent, I think it was the $5 or $10 last year on a book for grader notes. And all it said, it actually came back with no notes. And it was a 5. It was a first appearance of Vision, and it was a 5. And there were no notes on there. So I don't know.
It sounds like they're also trying to accelerate the process.
They're trying to accelerate the process. They're probably trying to do more with less staff. And like everybody else, they're looking to bidding is closed. They're looking to do what everyone is doing. It doesn't matter if it's the restaurant industry. They're trying to get more for less. Now, you can make the argument that that's like the watchword of capitalism, but generally speaking, you shouldn't do it. For example, in the food industry, something is sold as a pound, right? So whatever it costs, that's what it is a pound, $10.99 a pound. Now all of a sudden they leave it at $10.99, but the package is 14 ounces.
Well, I think what you're going to see is, and this tends to happen with collectibles, is, what everything that Alex says is very true. So what will end up happening is CGC books at one date are going to carry less value than ones that were graded at an earlier date. And if their submissions go down, I would imagine they'll make a hard U-turn on that.
Josh is 100% right. Someone will get the book and they'll put it in. There'll be no notes, and it'll be incomplete. A page will be missing or whatever, and all you know is the book is a 6. That's it. Well, come on, let's be honest.
And the only way you would know is if you cracked it open.
Yeah, we do. There's an element of, I don't want to say dishonesty, but it's unsettling, right? What is CGC? What are you really buying when you get CGC? Their expertise and their sort of good name and word that we had a couple experts look at this book, and Alec, your book is a 7. That's sort of the thing. If you don't like it,
well, JD brings up an interesting point, but I think the difference, JD, is that we got to eat, and you got to buy paper towels, and there's certain things that you need. You don't have to get a comic graded.
Exactly. That's the other thing. This is sort of, not to mention, well, I'll tell you exactly what this opens up. CGC isn't the only people doing this, right? So now what you're doing is you're giving your competitors a little bit of an opening, and there's going to be someone at some point that'll say, hey, look, we could jump into this game.
Right.
There'll be a new service.
Yeah, and somebody says, I'll do those things they won't do. So
Alec finds an investor, and the next thing you know, AR Comics is grading books. Everybody, people know Alex, they trust Alex. He hires a few guys. Next thing you know, I'll tell you what's wrong with the book. This is missing. That's missing. The page is folded. The staples are out.
Right.
He puts it right on there. In my expert opinion, the book is a 7. Instead of CGC grading, now it's AR Comics graded.
Right.
And you kind of create this thing of, oh, well, I'm going to go with CGC. But are you? Are you really? Because Alex telling me what's wrong with the book. Not to put Alex on the spot, but I'm just trying to use it as an example. You know what I mean? That, Alex's theoretical company is leveling with me.
Right.
This page is torn, man. Book is a 5. End of story.
We got to talk about this next week. This is a pretty big nut.
My guess is this will probably.
I was gonna say, for all we know, they're gonna change their mind. This article came out today that they're doing.
So I'm gonna read it. And then definitely we should pick this.
Well, they say story is developing or whatever. Isn't that the term they use in the media?
Well, you know what? We should pick this up. There may be more information. It's certainly going to be pushback. So by next Wednesday, it should be interesting to hear how the comic community reacts.
It's a Schrodinger's cat situation, right? He just said if you don't crack open the case, it's always complete. That's the cat in the box story. It's alive, it's dead, it's both. Now
it only takes one.
I'm paying for this.
Yeah, it only takes one guy to crack it open. So I want to thank our viewers as always. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you to Alec for spending time with us.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for having me.
My buddy John as well. And don't forget to sign up for the emailer. And visit Kyle. To visit Kyle. And I think at 9 tonight, we have Joe in Ambrosia. We get Wednesday Warriors Live. And thanks again, everyone.
Yeah,
as
check
always,
out the shows on the experience. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, we don't always get to everything. There's a lot of cool stuff. The advertisements tell you there's more stuff coming. You know what I mean? There'll be a membership level. There's like a whole lot of stuff going on. Absolutely check some of that stuff out.
Absolutely. So thank you, everyone. Have a great and safe Memorial Day.
Happy New Comic Book Day, everybody.
And Happy New Comic Book Day. We'll see you.
Join the party. Head over to our Linktree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time. Are you a comic creator? Are you a publisher? Do you make a comic book product? Do you own a retail store? Do you do something I haven't thought of? Who are you and what do you do? Let us know by advertising on the experience and invite our viewers to patronize your product. Message the EXP on social media or email us _EXP